All right, good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm late. I was late today. All right, so Nasdaq down this morning, about 0.5%, and a few of our stocks were watching up, looking pretty good. Peloton, pretty good this morning, good volume. Huya may even have to move my trend lines to see what's going on. Hey, what's up, Rob? NIO holding nice above a couple little gaps there. 50 days still way down there. Bitcoin's been a little bit exciting. That's kind of the big news yesterday. Popped up above the 10.4 level. Resting right now just underneath the 11,000 level. Actually, XMR 5% is pretty good. Let's check out GBTC. Up a little bit. Basically flat. Hey, what's up, Ellie? Yeah, a little slow. Peloton looks pretty good, though. That's Huya, which also is looking pretty good. Peloton looking pretty good right here. And Pi Polaris doing okay. Tesla's down a little bit, nothing crazy. DocuSign is underneath the 20 day for the first time in a long time, right there. That goes all the way back to early April. So that could be a buy point on DocuSign on a pullback. It's even above this low, so it's pretty good. DocuSign's just been a beast. That could be an interesting consolidation. AMD pullback. Mention earnings. When do they have earnings? Soon. Tomorrow, today? Today after market. That's a dangerous one. Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, they obviously took some positions before earnings. I think a lot of people are expecting it to be pretty good again with Intel 6 months out and maybe moving um, production out of the U.S., which is stupid, absolutely ridiculous. Going to take it to Taiwan Semiconductor. Hey, what's up, Andrew? Yeah, I don't like to play before earnings. It's up to you if you want to do that, but that would kind of be a longer term hold. If you get that horizon for AMD and you haven't bought already, um, I guess you could try something, but it's always risky, especially right now that we could have a retest of the breakout point down here at the 59.60 level, which would be about an 11% decline. So that's always tough, maybe 12 or 13, depending on the percentages. And Peloton also with good volume this morning looks like it's on a great trajectory so far. We've eclipsed the highs of this little low formation here inside this consolidation. Yeah, media. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I wouldn't do much. If it does have a nice move up, you could add to it. Market still a little bit shaky here. You can see we're hugging against the lower part of the trend line here on the Nasdaq. So we could see could see some kind of a reaction of sorts to the downside. There's still a little bit heavy distribution. Still waiting for NIO to kind of flatten itself out, but it's not doing too bad so far. Finally, has undercut the 20 day, 50 day still well underneath. I like how the fact volume's declining. We're holding up really nicely on NIO. That's intraday. So yeah, we just recently hit an all-time high above that $14 level. A base right here would be really good for some additional blast off moves. I was reading some interesting Tesla articles yesterday. Won't go on Tesla rant for too long. Just thought it was interesting. Um, since there's nothing to do, not a lot of price targets. So Tesla looks like they're planning a bond deal of $780 million. I didn't fully read this article. I really not a big bond guy. 8 classes of bonds to investors. Wow, carry top rating of AAA. That's pretty good. I wonder what interest rate. Oh yeah, they're gonna be for leases of the Model S is what the bonds are gonna do. So they're gonna take the bonds, essentially buy Teslas today, and on the profit they're going to pay out on the bonds, is what it sounds like, because you're gonna get monthly income with the leases, like up half of the collateral for the bond deal. So Model S, Model X, and it looks like Model 3. So, so that was interesting. Apparently, him and Buffett aren't doing too good. And ride hailing, talking about Tesla's ride hailing network, which I thought was fairly interesting because we haven't heard much about it. Here's an analyst talking about prices for that, talking about $1 per miles on the high side for electric's take. And here's ARK Investment talking about $15,000 share price. There and this analyst Tasha Keeney's talking about $4 per mile. And ARK estimates Tesla's ride-hailing service could deliver 50% margins, which is much better. So they could, but then here it says Elon Musk says it could be about 18 cents per mile to run. Once autonomous, Elon says that his robo-taxis on the Tesla network could cost 18 cents per mile to run. Another thing they talk about is that they may run it out. They may Tesla network. They may roll it out before full self-driving. So Tesla owners, essentially, it's just a Tesla Uber network, right? Where the owners still have to drive the car. And he says they could charge a little bit more money for that. So that's something that is on the, possibly on the horizon. Also, special insurance for the owners who decide to participate in the Tesla network using their growing insurance division. Tesla does have an insurance division, if you're not aware. Gets to 15K, I'd make 100K before 21. Did you buy more? Thought you had 4 shares, Andrew. That'd put you at 60K. And I'd have to do that in 2 years, so I'm not sure about 2 years. So I'll say this, Andrew, don't get caught up in your age and how much money you're going to make. Just do the work, my friend. Just do the work. So anyway, just a couple interesting things there on, yeah, definitely a couple interesting things here today. Ooh, Bitcoin Cash just got froggy. That was red earlier. Now it's not. Interesting. Yeah, so a couple interesting Tesla things there. Here's one talking about companies on borrowed time because there's um, this guy is talking about their tax credits that they get, their carbon tax credits that they're selling to Chrysler right here. So they're going to pay 1.2 billion in credit revenue through 2023, which is far less than what they've been paying. So I think they're saying that they're only profitable due to this carbon um, credit, which I don't know if that's accurate or not. So a couple interesting things on Tesla there to think about. Market down 1%. Match.com, Peloton fell off. Oh, pretty hard right there. Nasdaq down one. That's a pretty hard fall there. Is DocuSign doing came in a little bit as well. Let's go check out the global watch list. Let's see what's down today before we check out the global watch list. Soxo, Tesla, Roku pays AMD. It's like a general market decline here right now. Visa still in its consolidation, which is pretty nice. And silver having a red day today, down about 7% for the triple ETF, USLVF. Sand BLD. So, yep, like Ellie said, slow day. Not much going on. But we kind of have to have these slow days to have the really good days too, so it's not a bad thing. I ain't mad at it. So a split, Andrew, doesn't do anything to your particular shares. If you got 4 shares, you will get 8, but they'll be worth half as much. So an actual split doesn't do a whole lot for you or against you. Now, if there is a split, the good thing, the good thing about a split is that a lot of people don't necessarily. I can't. I'm not sure exactly how this works or not, but I don't know if people ignore how things work. But if a stock market splits and splits, if a stock splits and splits and splits, you end up with a bunch of shares. When the price doubles, you go up exponentially more based on however many times they've split. So that part's pretty cool with splits. But on just a 2-for-1 split, you don't gain at all. Market waiting for earnings, see how new money printer will affect retail investors. Yeah, it could be. Oh, got yeah, that's fine, Andrew. Cool. Go check out global watch list. MEDP up 22% today. Earnings. They did something, and apparently it was good. So, not much to do right there. That's not a bad analogy there, Ellie. Can't CGC back down looks like a long kind of a supportive trend line. 200 daily moving average, if it can pop above that. We've been consolidating this move since over a year ago. Like ACB is up here too. We just saw Tilray. Somewhat similar, although not nearly the same trajectory. MJ up there, LVGO, NIO, Bryant Blockchain up 4 or 5% today. So it closed down a little bit lower yesterday. Didn't quite do as good as BTC did, apparently. What's down here today? TSM, which was up pretty big yesterday. Our percentage leader yesterday was TSM. Now today it's our percentage decline leader. FFIV, ooh, nasty. Little nasty move there on earnings. Nothing too aggressive, but 6%'s a not a great move. ABG, Hexel, CRISPR, all-time high for CRISPR, long-term turnaround play. Looks like they just had earnings. And it's not doing too bad. It's down a little bit, but you can see we're still well within the price action, still supported by the 20-day moving average so far. So not too bad. Well, Andrew, I'd say keep in mind a lot of people your age don't have a dollar to put together between them. Like if you get a group of them, a lot of them don't have anything. I know when I was 18, 19 years old, a lot of my friends were just moving out of the house. They didn't have any extra money at all. But I agree with you. Yeah. And see, that's one reason why people used to split shares, was because if it got too high, people couldn't afford it. But like I said the other day, Warren Buffett and his $100,000 stock price kind of made having a high price sexy, so everybody wanted it. All right, market point 8%. Yep, nothing day. Nothing day so far. Looks like Huya. I have to get rid of these lines, unfortunately. There we go. Yeah, that's true, but I don't think a lot of people know about that. If every brokerage did that, they don't, but they don't. Like, it's only a select few that do that. Hey, Huya not bad today. Oh, Polaris up 10. There's a nice little gap on earnings. Okay. Okay, I can get behind Polaris. This one's not bad. Looks like the Bitcoin chart. You got three, four highs right here. It's breaking out from that. We'll see if it goes very far or not. Weibo, Match.com bouncing off long-term turnaround line. Not super enticing. DR Horton stalling this morning on earnings. Yeah, I like Polaris on the move. That's pretty good. Not sure if we can get a measured move out of it or not, but let's find out. That puts you up at about 130. And pretty nice and tight here too. That's not a bad one. I don't have a lot of options with their options, unfortunately. Uh, that one would be hard to take. So I could do that one. That's pretty good. And break even at 119. This is pretty close to the trend line. That's not bad. Could do that one. UAL. Let's go check out UAL. Yeah, I'm not sure what the MJ play is right now. Maybe they're still just too overvalued and they're I don't know. There's a plan there probably, or lack of plan. On the 5 minute, a little bit. Still has some resistance here at the 33.68, 34, somewhere up here. Yeah, I mean it's in an interesting place for sure, but nothing screaming buys. You do have some pocket pivots in here. We talked about that yesterday when we talked about a couple pocket pivots right here, but um, that's about it. For longer term bags, I think it could be a good place to get in, but um, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I'm actually not too mad at NIL. Yeah, I like NIL. I'm gonna get back in it at some point. I don't know when that's gonna be exactly, but yeah, I like NIL. They're actually producing vehicles. They sell. I mean, they're an actual business. They're not just a startup EV. So they're manufacturing and stuff. Yeah, yeah, for certain ones, for sure. Tesla, NIO. So far, those are the only ones. I mean, I don't know much about what's the other one that had a big run yesterday? I always forget about Lithium Motors, LAD. That's what it is. Lithium Motors. I don't know much about Lithium Motors if they're even selling cars, but the price action was straight up and then a launch off on earnings, 372. Let's take a look at earnings on these guys. Target from 250 to 180 keeps it overweight. EPS 372 beats 154 estimates, so they do have sales. Okay, let's take a look at some lithium motors. 55,000 vehicles. Oh, stupid. This is resale. This isn't electric vehicles. I'm retarded. Certifying. Yeah, there you go. It's auto dealership. It's not actual. Stupid. Just because it says lithia, Randy, doesn't mean it's lithium. Well, anyway, regardless, the stock chart here is pretty strong. So it looks like their sales are growing. Take it for what it is. INSG bouncing up today, hitting the top of our list, 6.67%. Great volume jumping in right now for INSG. Some earnings in between right there too. $5 calls sweep near the ask. You see a lot of double tops. The Nasdaq's got one. Nasdaq's got a double top. What else do you see? Tesla, Amazon. Yeah, Tesla's basically double top. Amazon. Yeah. Still supportive of the trend line though. I don't think there's any major change right now. Yeah, double top with support isn't too bad. How's Space doing? Space is holding up relatively well. They have earnings coming up. 8-3, first earnings with the new CEO, which he had nothing to do with, but at least you're going to see if Wall Street likes the guy or not. I'm assuming they will. He's from Disney. Probably going to make them an animated film about the earnings. Yeah, he starts a new trend. Pixar becomes all earnings production company. That'd be great. Guys, let's get in front of the couch. Earnings season is coming on. Kids, do you want to hear about our EBIT? That means you buy everything. indiscriminately. Just buy, buy, buy. Let the FOMO flow through you. And breaking a very minor trend right there. Very minor. How's about Tesla doing? Bouncing off that little pivot point right there. All right. So market chugging along. Yeah, bear and bull. I think I forgot why. I think the bull charges forward type of a thing, but I'm not sure on the bear. Not sure what a bear implies. It means lower. I forget. That's a question for Google. Yeah, I forget. I've read about it a couple of times, but it just hasn't stuck. All right, pie still looking good. Very good volume today on earnings. Not bad at all. Really? That's pretty dumb. That's horrible. Yeah, it's not very good. Bull will thrust its horns up and a bear will swipe down. Some dude that did way too much hunting in wherever there are bulls, Spain, I guess, came up with that. You can see an old timely gentleman in a hat with a monocle. You know what, gentlemen? I think this is a bull market. Why is it a bull? Well, because a bull swipes his horns up. Oh, but what about when it goes down? Um, a bear, because a bear swipes its hands down to beat its prey. Yeah, pretty old timey. Good thing about Bear's ass, Ellie. We're sick of hearing about it. You talk about it. It seems like every week you're mentioning something about a bear's butt. Just saying. Just saying. Not judging. What you do on your own time is your own business, but Andrew's young and impressionable. Come on, man. Gotta think of the kids. To each their own. That's all I'll say to that, Ellie. To each their own. If you know what I'm saying. Yeah. NIL. A little froggy. Volume's okay. Go all in on double top stock? Which one? NAO's got no double top. We're trying to come up. Oh, Tesla? Double top, actually, Nasdaq's got one on it right now. Double top is when you have two highs that go to the same point and they both stall. That's a double top. They could be green candles, they could be red candles, approximately the same level. Then they have a double bottom, which is the same thing but inverted. Well, it indicates that price tried to go above 11,058 and then it couldn't do it, and then it tried to go above 11,058 again and it couldn't do it again. It implies that there's resistance up there. Essentially, that prices won't increase. It's really what it means. So BTC was trying to get a Bitcoin Cash up 7, Litecoin even up 2, XMR was up 5. Not too bad. The max kind of level for now. Yeah, sometimes it's more than for now, Andrew. Sometimes a double top can really just define a move. It depends where it comes at in the cycle. See, everything cycles. The market cycle continuously um, between bull and bear and stuff like that. And a double top kind of sometimes can signify the end to a run. Because usually you won't find double tops in the middle of the run. They'll just continue have like here's a situation where you have a slightly higher high here. That's not a double top. This would be a double top. Uh, kinda yeah. Yeah, kinda yeah. Yeah, anytime you break a resistance line, see here's a good example on Pi. You see on the weekly chart here on Pi, there's a couple horizontal resistance lines that are very similar to double tops. You see here we have almost a hit, a hit, a hit, a hit, a hit, a hit, and now we're breaking through. So that right there is, kind of akin to a double top, but with multiple tops. This would just be considered a pivot point or a resistance line. Could be named a number of things, but usually once you see a level get broken, it continues moving in the direction of the break. So in this case, it breaks up. And here's a small one actually that, yeah, quadruple top. Yeah, that's the thing. And as a matter of fact, this one looks like it goes back for longer periods of time. I would likely call this a pivot point. You got a high here that's rejected, high here that is tested and breaks through, rejected, 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 breaks through, tested and rejected, 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 breaks through. So this is what's called a pivot point. The price basically just flip-flops on each side of this line. Yeah, they're not on every chart, but they're almost on every chart. If you have any kind of sideways action like this, you'll find a pivot point. And Polaris right now trying to break through said pivot point. We don't know if it's going to do one of these and then shoot up, or sometimes you'll find these end up pulling back in. But this one's actually um, pretty good in terms of it respecting the pivot point. Some are a lot more choppy than that, like a lot more choppy than that. It gets very unclear. But Polaris isn't too bad. Right, NIO, not too bad here. Market down 0.59, 0.6%. Hmm. IBM? I don't know if I have any for IBM right now, to be honest with you. Give me a minute. I'm eyeballing an NIO trade, trying to figure out what's going on here. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. Oh. Hey guys, hold on a minute. I'll be right back. Maybe a couple minutes. All right, I'm back. All right, so let's take a look. Looks like NIO's taking a break, giving us a chance to collect ourselves. Predictions for IBM. Well, you see, IBM has issues. I know. I think wasn't it you were talking about quantum computing? Well, it'd be one thing if all IBM did was quantum computing, but that's not all that they do. They do a bunch of worthless stuff. And as you can see by my weekly chart on the top left, going back to 2013, they've lost half their value because of it. Um, it's when you have these really big companies. I mean, IBM used to be IBM. Look at year 2000. It's 134 and it got back to 134 and it almost doubled from there at 215, maybe about 70% higher than that. And it hasn't done anything since. And that's been a long time. I don't invest in these businesses. I don't trade in these businesses. They don't trend very well. People keep IBM in their portfolios just because of the name, not because of anything they're doing that's good. This run here, I think, was due to Watson, which they screwed that up. So that never panned out. That could have even been over here. I don't know. But I don't think highly at all of IBM. I don't think I would not. I would just get rid of it and then move more money, buy a fractional share of Tesla or some AMD or something than an IBM. It's an old dog and it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. SUNW. Oh yeah, lots of green the past several days actually. What do these guys do? Sun works. Let's see what Sunworks does. Because I don't know what Sunworks does. Solar solutions. They use solar stuff. Okay. They've had a bad past 6 years. Their solar installation business. Well, how much is your loss? What percentage? You don't gotta give me a dollar amount, Andrew, but what percentage? Don't get caught up in losing a little bit of money. It's like 10 or 12%. That's not bad. I mean, you would have already made that back with an AMD investment. I would, I, in my opinion, I would much rather stick with names that are doing good right now than names that may do something at some stage. Because I mean, IBM. If you go back to the year 2000, which is 20 years ago, on IBM, they're the same company today they were back then, and year 2000. Look, there's today's price, and look at that. We're at the exact same place 20 years ago, and most of the time for the past 20 years, you were underwater. So don't get caught in a trap of not selling simply because you're underwater a little bit. Yeah. So, I mean, I would much rather put my capital into something that is definitely has a potential to grow. AMD, Tesla, I mean, Peloton, all the stocks we're looking at, NIO, Huya, Match.com, over time is probably going to do pretty good. How's D-Dog doing? Not too bad. Yeah. Get out of that mindset, Andrew. You want to have your money. You want to have your money in stuff that's moving in the right direction. You're managing your investments. You're not managing your account. Now, see, here's the thing. When you end up in a situation where you have a big loss, Andrew, then the decision becomes actually painful. Right now, you're like, it's nothing much, but still, it's the pride. I have pride, and I want to say through my investment career that I've never lost a dollar. Hoo hoo ha ha ha. You may not be thinking that, but that's what pride is. Pride is simply the fact I don't want to lose money. Man, man, Shane. I don't want to lose money. I'm better than that. You're not better than that, Andrew. Here to tell you right now, you're not. I'm not better than that. I lose money all the time. Half of the time I lose money. So if you don't have to get out of IBM, it's a choice you can make, Andrew. But if you want out of it, don't wait. Go, do something you want to do. Put it in something you like. Put it in a freaking index fund for crying out loud. Better than IBM. I'm kind of a I'm a bit of a tough love father to adults at least. Not yeah, my 9-year-old didn't like my tough love style, so I stopped. Not that he didn't like it, he couldn't handle it. But you guys can handle it. All right, who you looking good? I don't mind the consolidation, the pullback. Come on, man. Net, IVR, UAL. All right, market 0.62%. We're still above the lower channel line. The fact that we're kind of holding near it is not a great thing. Not a huge fan of that. Let's see what GBTC's up to. All right, so we went up a little bit further. Did Bitcoin go up a little bit more? Looks like it did. Bitcoin Cash up 6%. Bitcoin Cash could go on a little bit of a run if it's going to get some continued high volume. I was thinking about that yesterday. I do find it very interesting though that Bitcoin, like everything is kind of running to a degree. Bitcoin looks good. Ethereum has just been on a big tear. Bitcoin breakout. Ethereum big tear. Bitcoin Cash finally got going. Even Litecoin, which has been a huge piece of garbage, has gotten going. Why not, Andrew? Why not? It depends how much money you want to make. I don't know. There's not a few sure things, and actually nothing is a sure thing. But from an odds perspective, Tesla winning is about as high as I've ever seen. Tesla and Amazon. I wouldn't even have included Apple in that category in like the 2000, 2004, 2006 period. Um, Amazon, yes. Apple obviously would have been a good investment. Um, Nvidia, Intel, AMD, those companies with big, I call them competitive moats, those companies with high barriers to entry. Once you find the leader in that industry, it's very hard to supplant the leader. What I mean by that is that if you were to start a website called, Smamazon and did exactly what Amazon did, there's no way you could do exactly what Amazon did. Amazon did. There's no way. They would just beat you up. Same with Tesla. You try to start an electric car company, it's not going to have near the weight and cachet that Tesla holds. You're not going to have autonomous driving. Um, you're not going to have, be able to buy it globally and sell nearly the amount of cars Tesla is. What percent of savings you recommend go towards investments? I think that depends on what stage of life you're in, Andrew, and what your monthly costs are. I think there is a safe number. You should have some cash in case of emergencies or whatnot, and you should be budgeting, especially because you're in school. You should be budgeting probably about a year out. If you know what your schooling is going to be, try to pay for your schooling. Um, I mean, look, you should have enough to live on. You should have enough to cover anything that's really going to pop up, medical deductibles and things about that. But if you're a student, I don't think you got 50 grand, but if you have $50,000 in savings, you really only need probably five to $10,000, maybe $10,000 a year, maybe. I don't know what your expenses are over there, but um, I mean, yeah, I would put especially in something that you really have a high value in. I would put as much as you can, especially young. Because here's the thing, like once you get out, let's say you're just piling. Let's say you end up with, 10, 20, $30,000 in investments when you get out of school, and you still have, $4 or $5,000 cash or something like that. I mean, dude, you're like off to a gangbuster start. It's ridiculous. And then you can kind of, pause your investing while you get your life started with housing and things like that. Build up a bigger emergency fund. Um, but really, it comes down to lifestyle. Most of it comes down to lifestyle. How much are you willing to scrounge and give up? Because whatever you save today, you'll be able to spend, hopefully 10x that tomorrow. That's the whole idea. That's the whole idea right there. What you're going to find is that um, you're going to be the you're going to be the person. Let's say you all get identical jobs, you and all your circle of friends and people that you're going to meet. You all get identical jobs. You and maybe like one other person, maybe two, are going to be somewhat money conscious. And then by the time everyone's 30 or 40, all your friends are going to be broke, living paycheck to paycheck, and you and those two and three people are going to have a different life experience. And it all has to do with what you do, throughout the early stage in your life. If you can build a foundation like that, man, it's pretty powerful. It's pretty powerful. And if I'm looking for eyeballing 10K for Tesla, 15K via ARK investments, I mean that alone could get you off to a fantastic start. You may not need to invest anymore to get yourself off to like a crazy launch pad, but um, it's up to you. It's really up to you. How much do you want to spend on stupid stuff today versus because the way I like to think about it is this is every dollar you spend is an investment, right? When you're buying food, you're investing in yourself. You're literally investing in yourself because, if you don't buy the food, you'll waste away. So that's an investment. But, if you go out to eat all the time with your friends, which I did constantly, that's you're investing in that business. You're investing in that business and that business's future instead of your own. I used to go drop $30 and this was 20 years ago. We used to go drop like $30 every couple of days on a big steak dinner, which today and the same meal would probably cost about 35, $40. But back then, $30 was pretty good. If I'd invested that money, it's ridiculous. Okay, yeah, that's cool, Andrew. I mean, you've done great I mean, just dude, buying Tesla, you're lucky to have the opportunity, and you've made some good decisions. So it's up to you, my friend. Like I said, just go about your budget, figure out how much you spent on food in the past couple of months, and see if that's too high. Like maybe one month you're like, oh, I spent $450 on food, and the next month like, wow, I spent $1,000 on food. What the hell happened during that month? And then what you can do is actually budget, budget appropriately and say, okay, I want to be around the 550 mark. I want to go out to eat a couple of times here and there, but I really want to, cook most of the time. And you know what I'm saying. You can make conscious decisions like that. But you should have some kind of savings. I was joking earlier. You should have some kind of savings in cash just for emergencies. Stuff pops up, maybe hospital deductibles or whatever. And then, yeah, after that, you can make a decision about what you want to do with the money. And if investments towards the top of your list, then, dude, go for it. It's hard to make a bad decision when you're investing. That sounds odd for me to say, but trading, you can make some horrible decisions. Yeah, like IBM, that's a bad decision. Don't put any more money in IBM. Match.com, pretty good here today. Good volume today. Bouncing off this low. Maybe we're gonna start going. They have earnings coming up. Looks like 8.5. It's in a week or two. NIO doing okay. Peloton doing fine. Who you pulling back? MJ DocuSign still in the mix. Soxel AMD, Nvidia. How's AMD? Is that coming back? Yeah, that's coming back. AMD just looks great. I'm a lot more annoyed than I sound right now. AMD looks super. Yeah, we'll just sell it. If you're down, 10, 15%, it's not a big deal. Tesla did 8% yesterday. It's probably like I said, I think it's going to go down a little bit more before it goes up, but this thing just went on a huge skyrocket move, so you can't expect a whole heck of a lot. But yeah. All right, guys, I think I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to call it a little bit early today. I know I showed up late. Sorry about that. Stupid alarm. At least I got up. That's a good thing. It's always a win when you wake up in the morning. Although when you lose, you don't know it, so you're winning all the time. It's pretty good. All right, guys, well, have a good day. Andrew, go to sleep. It's past your bedtime, young man. All right, guys, take it easy. See you later in the power hour. All right, bye.